Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the 48th Annual Toronto International Film Festival. It's so beautiful to see you here, to see these full cinemas. Thank you so much for your support. We love you. My name is Dorota Lech, and I'm the lead curator of TIFF's Central, Eastern, and Southern European Cinema. And today, it is my great, great honor to be introducing the world premiere of The Peasants by D.K. Welchman and Hugh Welchman. That's right. You're in for such a treat. This film is playing as part of our special presentations program, in which you can find films from notable directors telling stories of larger than usual scope and scale. We would like to thank our lead sponsor, Bell, and our major sponsors, RBC, Bulgaria, and Visa, for their continued support. Additional thanks to our government supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto. We would like to thank New Europe Film Sales and Anonymous Content for providing us with The Peasants. Also, dziękuję serdecznie to the Polish Film Institute for their generous support. Before I introduce our esteemed filmmakers, a reminder that this film and all films are eligible for the People's Choice Award. You can vote for as many films as you like at tiff.net/vote, and we really encourage you to do so. The filmmakers get that feedback, and it means a lot to them. D.K. Welchman was born in Bytom, Poland, and studied at the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw and the Warsaw Film School. She directed the shorts Chopin's Drawings in 2011 and Little Postman in 2011, as well as co-directed the features The Flying Machine in 2011 and Loving Vincent in 2017. Who saw Loving Vincent? Incredible. Hugh Welchman was born in Bracknell, England, and studied at the National Film Television School. He co-directed the feature Loving Vincent in 2017. The Peasants is his latest film. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our esteemed filmmakers, D.K. Welchman and Hugh Welchman.
Here we go. It's our turn to say something? Oh, okay. I should put it down a bit. That's a bit loud. This is really surreal to be standing here for the world premiere of The Peasants. And a big thank you to Dorota and her colleagues at TIFF for inviting us to such a prestigious this Nobel Prize-winning epic tale by Raymond about the tough lives of a peasant rural Polish community in lands that were controlled by the Russian Tsar, and whose lives were made tougher continuously by great forces that were happening far away from the borders of their village and far outside of their control, had something to say to our 21st century lives. And then the upheavals of the last 4 years made us feel it was even more relevant. So, and those upheavals, those events of the last 4 years had a direct impact on making this film and almost collapsed the film. We had 2 curveballs, and when we dealt with those curveballs, we were sucker punched. So the first curveball was COVID. So we had to shut down production twice, and we had to postpone our shooting by a year, and it played havoc with the recruitment of our painters. The second curveball was the economic consequences of that, which were very sharply felt in the countries where we made this film, which was Poland, Lithuania, Serbia, and Ukraine. And you can probably guess what the sucker punch is. The Russian invasion of Ukraine, we evacuated as many artists as were able to leave, and they became a very important part of the Breakthrough family in our main studio in Poland. And as soon as the defense It was only at the beginning of this year, over 2 years after we set up the studio, that they became a functioning powerhouse of painting animation for this film as we always intended. And along that journey, there were several important individuals who invested in this film and just kept our head above water. But most important was the unwavering support that we had from public bodies in Poland, from the Polish National Foundation, from the National Centre of Culture, and most importantly, from the Polish Film Institute. Without their support, we would not be standing on this stage to show you a film that is made up of over 40,000 frames of oil painting. Now, each of those paintings, like this one, took 5 hours on average to paint. If one person painted the whole film, it would take them almost exactly 100 years. And not only did we have that labor going into this film, but we also had almost equal coming from our VFX teams and also from our digital in-betweening team and our live action cast and crew. And so it's also because of their incredible hard work, problem solving and passion that we're standing here to present this to you today. And now I will hand over to the more important director of the two of us, my wife, DK Welchman.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm very nervous and very moved, so please bear with me. Because he's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. So he's not here to stand physically with me. But I know he's present in this room tonight for this incredibly important moment, which is, thank you. This celebration of 4 years of labor of love and hardship. And so therefore, this screening, I would like to
Dedicate to Piotr.
Yeah, sorry. I would like to dedicate to my dad, Piotr, and also to all the women who are standing for themselves and standing for who they are and making these incredibly difficult choices every day as we speak. Thank you so much. Enjoy the screening.
Please join me in welcoming back to the stage DK Welchman, Hugh Welchman, Kamila Urzedowska, Robert Gulaczyk, Sonia Miatelica, and Ewa Kasprzyk, as well as Łukasz Rostkowski.
Thank you so much.
You deserve it. Congratulations. Congratulations on a beautiful film, all of you. I'll begin by asking some questions on stage and then take questions from the audience, so think of your own questions. First, for DK and Hugh, you were so generous in the beginning to give us some insight into the process, but I'd like to go a little bit deeper. Can you let us know about the actual craft that it took to make this film? I know you've brought some visuals.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe I think there are a few people who saw Loving Vincent, so maybe I'll compare it to our last film. So our last film, we actually made 12 frames per second, and our aim was to do exactly the same with the Peasants. But it turned out that it took us 2.5 hours to paint every frame on Loving Vincent, and on this one, it took 5 hours per frame, because it was a much more complicated style of painting and very much more dynamic. So the concept with Loving Vincent was very static, and DK was like, I am going to be allowed to move the camera around this time. And we said no, and then we said, oh, that looks great, let's do that. So yeah, it was a completely different concept. So this time we're actually animating at 3 frames per second, and then we were having a digital in-betweening team. And then obviously the scale of the film was completely different in terms of, you saw we had like a battle and lots of dances and a lynching. Sorry about that, it's a bit traumatic. So technically it was, we felt very confident at the beginning because we did Loving Vincent, and then we kind of had to tear up what we did on Loving Vincent and relearn and come up with a new way of doing it. Maybe you want to add to that? No? Okay.
I'd love to get a sense from either of you of when casting for this became a question. You have this beautiful ensemble. We'll ask some questions to them as well. What was that process like for you?
That was a very exciting process. It's always is because it's when in this case when it's adaptation, you're already thinking about adapting the novel. You're already reading the novel with certain people in your head, and it was exactly like that. In certain cases, and I did have my kind of idea, a vision of characters. I had my vision of Jagna, and I definitely wanted someone who is extremely sensitive and very, very special. And when I met Kama, turns out that's who she really is. So that was great, and made it very easy for me.
And some of you might recognize Robert because he was our Vincent van Gogh. And we had such a wonderful time working with him on Loving Vincent that we gave him the very sensitive and easy part to play as a beautiful, sensitive human being that he is, of finding a way into the character of Antek. And actually his wife, Hanka, played by Sonia, they got together during the production. So now they're a couple.
Congratulations.
Real life love story. And I mean, what can I say about Eva? She's just
I'm really stressed. That's good.
Chodziłam bardzo dużo po lesie, wąchałam kwiatki.
I took a lot of walks in the woods. I smelled the flowers.
Słuchałam dużo muzyki, tańczyłam.
I listened to music. I danced a lot.
Czytałam poezję i zagłębiałam się w moją wrażliwość.
I read poetry and I went deep into my sensibility.
And for Robert, you've worked with this incredible team before. Can you give us a sense of how much time you have prepared? Of course, the film is shot in live action first and then painted. What is it actually like to lead up to this?
To jest bardzo podobny proces, jaki mieliśmy przy Loving Vincent.
It's a very similar process to the process that we had at Loving Vincent.
On nie różni się specjalnie od normalnego przygotowania do filmu dla aktora.
For an actor, it's not really different from preparing to any other movie.
Ja miałem to szczęście, że kilka miesięcy przed produkcją wiedziałem, że będę Antkiem.
I was lucky to know a few months before the production started that I am going to be Antek.
Więc to był czas na siłownię kilka razy w tygodniu.
So it was enough time to go to the gym a few times a week.
I to był czas na treningi taneczne, które mieliśmy też razem z Kamą. I to trwało w sumie przez kilka miesięcy.
And it was enough time to do a lot of training, dance training that we did together with Kama.
Natomiast sam proces kręcenia jest o tyle interesujący dla aktora, że wymaga wyobraźni, ponieważ jest dużo zielonego tła i to, co Państwo widzicie, te krajobrazy, to trzeba sobie wszystko wyobrazić.
In terms of filming requires a lot of imagination from the actor because it's all green screen and all that you saw, all those landscapes, we had to imagine that.
And for Sonia and Eva, I have a similar question for both of you. You have very different but very strong characters. I would love for you to talk about what that was like, how you prepared as an ensemble together.
Jak przygotowałyście się? Macie takie
I am very stressed, but I try to speak English. I am very happy finally to be here in this festival because I had difficulties, but that somebody said the third try it's a it's a charm because I tried 3 times to be on the stage because the first time I didn't know that I need visa to Canada. And I changed my flight, and the second time they canceled my flight. And then I try the third one, it's charm, okay? So, okay, I prepare for this part easy because I am strong.
Finita.
Thank you very much. I am very happy finally to be here. When I do the selection, that I am very I do the selection of the film. It's very good.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm very grateful to be here too, but I will switch to Polish too, sorry, because my heart is like... Yeah, so the question was, how did I prepare? Okej, so po polsku. Więc ja jeszcze na wstępnych egzaminach do szkoły teatralnej, do Akademii Teatralnej w Warszawie mówiłam tekst Hanki właśnie z Chłopów, więc myślę, że już kiedy to było? Z 10 lat temu? Sorry.
When I had my entry exam to the film school, my dialogue or monologue was Hanka from the same novel.
Więc może było mi to pisane i jestem bardzo wdzięczna, że mogłam wziąć udział w tak cudownym przedsięwzięciu i dzisiaj złapałam się na tym, że siedziałam przez cały film uśmiechnięta i pod ogromnym wrażeniem.
So perhaps that was my destiny, and I caught myself today watching the movie with a smile on my face.
Of course, it was like different emotions too, but there were a lot of emotions. But I'm amazed. Thank you, guys. Really, it's
welcome.
beautiful. It's moving. It's pulling my the deepest strings in my heart. So I hope you felt it too. Thank you.
And for Łukasz, I mean, huge compliments on the score, of course. Can you please give us an idea of when you came onto the project and what it took to take on this masterful
I joined. Good evening. I joined the project 4 years ago, and I spent with these people in front of my screen, of course, more time than with my wife. So sorry if my wife won't smile to you guys, but that was pretty drastic sometimes. So it was 4 years. Yeah, we met each other with Dorota and Hugh. We had this amazing chat in the cellar. I remember this chat when they just told me that they're doing this film, and I was I released like 17 LPs, albums, which were always different kind of genre of music, jazz, hip hop, and I never could find myself in any genre. So then I thought, yeah, film music will be probably that, because every film is different genre of music. So that's gonna be my next step, I thought. That was my dream. I always loved cinema. And I dreamed about coming into this world. And thank you, Hugh and DK and Sean, that you have invited me to this world. It was 4 years of work. I could write a book about it. Because first I remember when we had some dinner with DK thinking about this film already. And then I said, hey, as I remember, in Peasants, there was a wedding. We are shooting in 2 months. Don't we need some music for wedding? Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, we need a music for wedding. And that's how it started. I had to just drop all the other projects and I started writing, because we had 2 months to prepare all the songs for the dances, for the wedding and all the other dances. And yeah, and then it was amazing.
With your wife?
Yeah, she's still with me. She's not here. She's not here. I'm still with her. Yeah, of course. Sending love to my Justina, and and then it was crazy. 4 years of work, almost 100 musicians recorded, musicians from Ukraine, musicians from Belarus, musicians from Poland. All together in Rebel Babel Film Orchestra, which is traveling around the world and mixing musicians. We wanted to show the beauty of Polish folk music, but also make it a little bit different to match it to these amazing pictures and paintings. So that was the hardest thing, to find the barrier between folk music and film music, and to make it play with these amazing paintings. So yeah, 4 years of work, and I think 2 times I wrote this score. I'm so happy to be here tonight. Thank you for this receive, and thank you for being here.
I think you're going to get a painting of the Q&A soon. Yes. I'd love to take some questions from the audience before. Yes, right there.
Hi. I was just wondering, do you think that with Loving Vincent and now the Peasants are making different new style of filmmaking?
The question is, with now this being your second painted film, do you feel like you're making history with this new style of filmmaking?
Well, after Loving Vincent, we thought, yeah, I think we're onto something. We're going to have a new genre. And then, this film was so difficult to make. I think we need a break from painting animation. So we're not saying never. We actually do have another big project in the future. But we're going to have a break and do some live action, and then come back to oil painting animation, because the great thing about oil painting animation, and I know because we tried everything on this film, is you really can't longer than the oil painters, because they're trying to match that quality of light. So I do think it's got something special, and I definitely want us to come back to it, but it's been such a roller coaster, so much uncertainty, so much more drama going on making the film. Well, there's quite a lot of drama in the film too, but
so many divorces possible.
never
for all of us. Yeah.
So we're going to do live action for a little bit, but then we will come back to painting animation. But we would love other people to do painting animation and to do it at our studio. So if there are any filmmakers out there who want to make, oil painting animation, look at us up.
A few months months ago, Hugh told me that the Loving Vincent was the first painting animation film.
Feature length.
Feature film, and the Peasants will be probably the last one. So
That's the history.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It might be a genre of 2 films, oil painting feature films.
No, please don't stop.
Free trials to charm.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations on such a real and haunting work, which is still very relevant, especially in many parts of India today. But while I was watching it, I was thinking about what you said earlier, that this is work of 100 years, accomplished by virtue of so many artists putting their days and nights together. So I was wondering, what would your position be on the recent concerns of technology and AI trying to threaten the work of these very young?
It's an interesting question, and just to paraphrase, if you could talk about how you feel about AI entering the space.
I can start. We actually tried a little bit. We had a little adventure with AI on this project. On some point, we thought maybe, it's good to explore. And well, it failed, at least in our case. And I'm not saying AI is not a wonderful, amazing tool that can be very, very powerful in terms of creating art. But in this particular case, the effects the results that we got from what AI learned and what created was not enough for us, because there was just lacking of this human touch. There was just lacking of this element of mistake, element of just surprise, because you probably could see that sometimes Jagna was different, and sometimes the style was different, sometimes the brushstrokes were wider or smaller, or texture was thicker or thinner, and all these things that just depend on human sensitivity, which AI doesn't really have yet, at least.
I think it's great that AI is coming, because this film becomes even more historical and unique, absolutely unique.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, with AI, when they're doing computer art's only been around for like 40 years, but, or no, more than that now, 60 years, let's say. But oil painting's been around for 500 years, so AI's got a lot of catching up to do to do oil painting.
Yes.
When planning those out, was that process kind of different, knowing you had to paint it later? Was there a lot of consideration you had to paint how was you going to pull this off?
It's a great question, to paraphrase. First, it's a big compliment to how you move your camera, referencing what you said earlier. But the question was, in doing these long takes, were you affected by that, knowing that they would later have to be painted?
Yeah, then mainly I was affected by my producer, Sean Bobbitt, who was following me and like, are you sure you want to do this? We have to paint it. He was like that. So, sorry, Sean, but...
We love you.
Applause for Sean, definitely,
Sean!
for that, yeah.
But no, actually, it was great planning this. You need to plan this ahead, because we didn't really have that much shooting days. So we did have a little rehearsal, but not much rehearsal. So it was just you had to plan ahead with. And it's, for me, that is the greatest part of directing, is to set up challenges for yourself. So that was just incredible challenge to have, especially the lynching. We shot in one take. Eventually, at the end, as you saw, we cut it, but it was shot in one take. So it was really, it's just, now I feel like, why? Because I could have
you know, and we only did two takes, and you know, it was all done with handheld camera, and it was Steadicam, yeah? Okay, it was all done with Steadicam. Corrected. So we definitely got some of that energy of that, like it all being in one take. So I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I think like it gives the actors also because they know they are in. It's almost like theater because they are on the stage and they all together, and every single element influences the final result. And you know, it's such a strong performance for Kama, for main actress. It's such an emotional, harrowing thing to do. So everyone felt very responsible. So it was great focus. It was wonderful to shoot.
How was it for you, Kama?
You like it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. The question was how you felt doing that final scene, which was only shot in 2 takes.
Szczerze to nie pamiętam. To było 3 lata temu.
To tell you the truth, I don't remember. It was 3 years ago.
Ale zajrzałam do swojego pamiętnika, w którym zapisywałam myśli, sobie przypomniałam.
But I looked into my diary that I wrote down my thoughts.
I było tam napisane przekleństwo, ja pierdolę.
And it was a swear word. Fuck it. There.
And on that note, I wish we could keep talking for hours. You are the most insightful, interesting cast I've had in a very long time. Congratulations on a beautiful masterpiece, all of you. Truly wonderful. Bravo.
Thank you so much.
And there are more screenings. Tell your friends, tell your family. Congratulations.
Thank you.